February up to 29th April are graduating with the sign language skills, the basic ones which are needed in the community. This came about due to a lot of urging comments from the community that some hard of hearing people were going to the community, to the hospitals, to the marketplaces, everywhere, but they could not get assisted because nobody knew what they were saying. Out of that urge, then as a university and a unit of disability and special needs, we took it up, and the top managers of the university also took it up and allowed us to start under the special needs disability, the Master Association. And we are glad we have the first cohort which graduated, where we can see fruits as we will be hearing. And now we have this second cohort who are graduating today. We had so many applicants, but those ones who have reached at the success of today are 53. We thank you very much for coming to celebrate with us. Thank you very much. And now I can call Brian, who has been an instructor, to introduce his other fellow members he has been working with. And also on the program we will have Madam Maureen, who will welcome other people also. Then invite the dean. Then we'll have a special needs and disability advocacy by Madam Goretti Turyahirwa. Then we'll have our guest speaker. We'll start with academic registrar, then the guest speaker, who is the DVCAA, then the certificate award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Stella. She has been our coordinator for sign language course. We got done with the first cohort, and today we are also graduating students for the second cohort. The DVC, Professor Nixon Kamkama, the AR, Dr. Martha Choshava Twinamasko, our Dean, Mr. Chagaba Emmanuel, our Guild President, Mr. Ariho. You can stand up and wave for the people. Yes, and all the other invited guests, you're most welcome. My name is Sandy Bryan, and I've been the sign language tutor for the 2 cohorts. I am a sign language interpreter by profession. I'm also a teacher by profession, and I've also obtained a bachelor's degree in special needs studies. So I think I'm in the right place. I am so happy that you people have really done it to the end, because we had received 95 students who had applied and wanted to do the course. But out of those ones, we had something like 72 students coming. But then because of the busy schedule, of some students, some were unable to continue with us, and we are able to graduate 53 students. Our guest of honor, I want to introduce to you different students doing different courses in our sign language class. Students who are doing medicine, medical students, you can stand up for recognition. If you are a student and you are doing medicine, stand up. Those who are doing medicine. Open the gift, I will introduce you later. Okay? Students who are doing engineering, software engineers, we had so many of them. Yes. Then we had students from gender. Yes, represented by Desire. We have pharmacy students. Where are they? Pharmacy? Okay. So you realize that because of this time, most students have gone home and others are doing internship, and that's why we are able to get a good number. But in our cohort, it's dominated by medical students, and they are doing very well. Then gift and opened, you can stand up. Our guest of honor, these ones, they graduated, but they are working with Mbarara Hospital, and they joined our class, and they are doing very well. So they are physiotherapists, I don't know, but they are doing very well because I've seen updates on WhatsApp. They have met and they have helped so many deaf people around the hospital. Actually, most of our medical students are really doing very well. We have had about 10 interactions with deaf people around the hospital. The likes of Obadiah. Obadiah, you can also stand up. Yeah, he's also a finalist, a medical student, and he's also doing well in the hospital. I also want to introduce you some of our graduates from the first cohort, but whom we have invited to be with us. If you are there, you can stand up. First cohort. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Obadiah, we have invited him because after graduation, he didn't sit down. He's still very active in the area of interpreting. In fact, we work together in All Saints Church. We are always together interpreting those services for the deaf. Then Shira, you can also stand up. Shira is also, we also work together in the church. We also interpret for the deaf people in church. And for her, because she was also very active, when Tayari TV contacted me for some sign language interpreters, I had seen some good, deaf interaction in her that we were able to recommend her, and right now she grabbed herself a job at Tayari TV. Yeah. That's her. Thank you so much, Shira, for keeping the fire burning. Then I've been working closely with Julius. Julius, you can stand up. Yeah, that's Julius. Julius is deaf, but very lively. Sign language links us to this community. You realize that sometimes the negative attitude you had previously. When you meet these people, you really go when you are changed. And I'm sure we got some testimonies from students that when they were coming and they were seeing Julius, it was the first of the kind to see a deaf person. So they were even surprised that they can be taught by a deaf person and they understand. And students were very happy. I also want to tell you, our guest of honor, that our students in the hospital are doing very well. Unfortunately, they are not here. Mr. Opendi, thank you so much. Gift, thank you. Dr. Moses, thank you so much. In your absentia, Helen, Shanita, and others. These ones I have mentioned have been doing very, very well, because you realize that Mbarara Hospital receives at least 5 deaths per week, and these people have been there. I haven't seen Hussein, but Hussein is good. He's in this cohort, but after we were done with the course, Hussein, he cooperated with another first cohort student, Karim, and the two are now interpreting in a mosque around town, Kakova Road. And Hussein is very swift. Those of you on our WhatsApp, last Friday, there was a pregnant deaf woman who wanted to deliver. And we were looking for an interpreter to run to the hospital. And Hussein was able to run there from Kacheka, and the lady was helped, and she delivered safely. Yeah, only that he's not here, but I recognize him. He's here. Hey, Hussein is there. Hussein, stand up. Yeah, thank you, Hussein. Otherwise, I want to thank the Office of the Dean for the support. Members, let's clap for the Office of the Dean, led by Mr. Emmanuel Chagaba. Yeah, this man has really supported us psychologically, financially, for this to happen. If it wasn't his office, I think we wouldn't be here, but he's the one cooking. Yeah, thank you so much, our Dean, and we really appreciate. Lastly, I want to encourage all of you students who have done this course. Please, don't sit on your skill. These people whom I have introduced who are working with us, they have not seated and rested. They have practiced, they have moved on to practice, and they are doing very well. And the opportunities are there. Like I told you, in the hospital, there are some new jobs being created in the hospitals, and we realized they want sign language interpreters from health center 3s to the hospital, like Mbarara referral. So that means, for example, you medical students, if you know sign language and you are a nurse or you are a doctor, you'll be selling like a hot cake. So please, don't sit on your skill, keep practicing, and we help the community. Ampaire Shira is also our graduate from the first cohort, and she's also interpreting in the Baptist Church behind the Vision Empire. I've seen her do so, and I always follow up to know what different students are doing in communities. Otherwise, I want to encourage you to keep practicing. Let's not sit on this skill. And to the entire university, I would request that we keep this course, because this course does not help us interpreters alone, but everyone around the community. When I started interpreting in church, we had one deaf person whom they knew. But in 1 month, we had 27 deafs who are coming for those services. Because deafness is invisible, you can't tell a deaf person by just meeting them. If you meet Julius and you say hi, he will also say hi, but you won't know that at some point he would need your assistance. This idea came from two situations. One is when a pregnant lady, had gone for checkups around the referral, and for 3 times she was not worked on, because the nurses would correct the books. Then she comes and starts reading. Sarah, they say she's not here, but she's not hearing, she's around. Then she goes home. Then she comes back. Second time she goes. She comes back. Then third time she comes back. Then she goes. Then it's until when she approached me, she was like, but I have a problem. Maybe these people, they don't like me because I'm deaf. But the nurses didn't know that she was deaf. So when I told the nurse, she was helped. Another situation is when still was a deaf lady. She had gone, visited the doctor, and the doctor prescribed the wrong drug. Actually, she had a terrible infection in her genitals. And when she was signing this, the doctor, I think, guessed and was like, maybe this is ulcers. So he prescribed the drug. She went, she was not helped. The situation was worsening. Then she came to me and was like, I have this and this problem. So what do we do? Say, let's go together and you help me. But previously she never wanted to disclose because it was a terrible infection. But now she opened up. Then I went with her. Then we explained to the doctor, and the doctor apologized. Was like, I'm sorry, I did a wrong prescription. Then it was from then, she was given a right drug and she got cured. So all that, and they are all happening in our communities. So it's a challenge to all of us. If you meet a deaf person who needs your service, maybe you are an officer, maybe you are in your drug shop, maybe a shop, or anything, how would you help that person? Thank you so much for listening to me. At this juncture, I would like to welcome our Deputy Dean, Madame Maureen Kahima, to also speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'll first start by sharing an experience I had with a deaf person. Some years back, I worked in the university but was attached to the hospital. So this deaf lady got an accident. So they called us to help her, and we couldn't communicate. So I called the person in charge of special needs at the district. She also came and couldn't help because this lady was not in school. And we felt helpless. Fortunately, that time, the hospital had money to put an announcement on radio. So we took the announcement. It was run on Radio West, and by good luck, the patient's mother was able to hear the announcement. She came to the hospital, and this lady was reunited with her family, and from there, her recovery was much better. So I really, really appreciate this short course, because like Brian has said, our community needs this training so that we are able to communicate. Now let me go to protocol. I wish to welcome the DVC Academic Affairs for representing the Vice Chancellor, the Academic Registrar, and of course, our parent and brother, the Dean of Students. Thank you so much for making the time to come and be here. I also want to congratulate the second cohort. I was supposed to be a student in this cohort. I actually attended, I think, one class, and because I didn't continue, I forgot everything I learned on that day. So I think next time I should do better. And so for me, actually, this is a great event, and not only for the community, but also for us as an institution, because we have what is called cross-cutting issues, where we find gender, special needs, HIV, and others. So, and as I talk about that, I really want to thank Brian for his commitment. Brian has not missed a day. So that commitment is very rare for someone to really dedicate their time, their energy, their resources to come and really be part of this activity. The university cannot pay you enough because we don't have the money, but hopefully in future we shall do better. But thank you so much for this commitment. I also want to thank Stella for this initiative. When Stella started, but I'm glad we have the second cohort completing. Stella is a very committed person. Once she thinks of something, she will make sure that it will happen, and that's why we are here today. I also need to recognize the management, but I want to thank them for their presence here. That shows the importance of this course. And I pray that we shall continue. And even those who are graduating will also become instructors of this short course. I want to end by encouraging each one of us, those who have attended, those who have completed, to keep on practicing. Because if you don't practice, you forget. And indeed, like we say, practice makes perfect. Thank you so much. I thank you so much, and I wish you a nice afternoon. May God bless you. So I wish to invite Mr. Emmanuel Chagaba to make his remarks. Mr. Chagaba.
Thank you, Maureen. I think, let me see if I can stand a bit of a distance from the speaker. There seems to be too much resonance from the speaker, I think, because of being too close. Or maybe, can you adjust it maybe a bit of low volume, slightly? Can it still be, I think maybe that could be better. Yeah, thank you. Our guest today, our chief guest, Professor Nixon Kamkama, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs, the Academic Registrar, Dr. Martha Choshabatu Namasko, my colleagues, members of staff, whom I usually address by their first name, Maureen, Stella, Nabon. I saw Alex around. The instructors, the participants, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Sign language is one of those languages like any other language I'm beginning to appreciate. I don't speak very many languages. I wish I could speak Chinese or any other language. In other words, the importance of language as a tool of communication cannot be underrated. Now, as a university, especially of science and technology, and a public university, we are duty-bound to participate in any program that can contribute to the well-being of mankind. I want to say that it's not by coincidence that the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs and Academic Registrar are here. It may appear a coincidence, but it was purposeful in inviting them and engaging them in this discussion. It's true the Ministry of Health is now requiring sign language interpreters at all health centers in the country. At health center 3, 4, regional hospitals, and the national referral hospitals. When the idea of sign language began, we knew that this was a concept that was mainly from the special needs unit at Chambago University. They have a curriculum for certificate, they have a curriculum for diploma, they have got degree programs. But as a university in this region, if we are going to make a contribution to that government program of training interpreters, at what level can we join in? Because we shall have laid down the owners of the university, if we do not support the national programs that the government is putting in place. My plea, therefore, to the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs and Academic Registrar is to see how we can guide or be guided on how we can have a training program that meets the minimum requirements, where the award given of whatever nature can be recognized at various levels of government. Because this is a requirement, if we are going to look at the more than 100 districts we have in this country, the hundreds of health facilities, both private and government, we shall need a human resource that we need to build. And at the level of universities, I think other than Chambago University, it is Mbarara University that has made this step towards adopting a short course in sign language. I know we are following what is well recognized as the Uganda Sign Language program, because I also know that there are a number of versions of sign language that apply in different areas. We have a national approved language with its own symbolism and curriculum, and therefore we have a starting point. As the country, as the population grows, if Uganda had a population of about 10 million people 60 years ago, and we are now more than possibly 45, also the people with special needs will keep increasing. I was not really surprised, but I was almost to learn that when Brian went to do sign language interpretation at All Saints, there was only one deaf person in church. And I think when word went around that when you go to church, even when you are deaf, you can still pick the message, the numbers kept increasing. So you can imagine then how many people are out there in the community to know that there are opportunities that they can also benefit from the programs, because they can now have a language to call their own. The government of Uganda is deliberate on empowering people with special needs across board. For instance, we know that people with physical disabilities, there are orthopedic centers in most regional hospitals that are being revived, mainly for assistive devices. So you see, there are also intentional programs within which us as a university, luckily enough, with an orthopedic unit at the regional hospital and physiotherapy training, we are already inputting into that area. For the information of those who may not have been following this up, government has a slot for persons with disabilities in almost all interventions across board. Even with the various programs like Myoga, you'd find that there is a slot for persons with disabilities. The policy development model has a quota for persons with disabilities. So across the board, government is making every effort to try and empower disadvantaged communities and the hard of hearing or deaf are among those. And apparently, these are disabilities that can come at any step towards mainstreaming the issues of special needs within the university plans. The university is also an equal opportunity institution. At admissions, we don't segregate, because also government has a quota of government-sponsored students at admissions. However, we still have limitations in a number of assistive devices. Like we don't have, for instance, interpreters in the teaching spaces that we have. And the challenge is that in an institution like this one, you may not employ a specific interpreter. Different programs have different languages. So there are certain languages that people now must, like teaching pharmacy. How do you start giving names of medicines and drugs using sign language? So there are specific specialties that are also going to be required. If you are teaching engineering, what kind of language do you need to adapt? So when the university goes in, Then we shall need also to learn the different languages in the different professions. If people are in the business, how do you communicate money? If you're in construction, if you are a mechanic, how do you communicate parts of a vehicle? If you're a mathematician, how do you communicate symbols, alpha, omega, whatever? So as a university, we need to get deeper and deeper into this to even get into maybe areas of research where we can have more informed information on the special needs. We also encourage partnerships. I'm glad cyber school technologies have come in handy in a number of our programs. At least I know they've been providing assistive devices for certain categories of people with special needs, and we need more of such partnerships. The university now also has an office specified for gender and equity, and issues of special needs are matters of equity, that every human being deserves to be considered, appreciated, rewarded, and given the rightful position in all spaces that they are occupying. And therefore, on that note, I only hope and pray that this program can only keep improving, especially at the professional level, but so we improve on the capacity to see if we can reach out to other communities that may not be able to come and find such opportunities at MUST. When I was doing the introductions and the protocol line of it, our principal senior communications officer, Angela Nakato, I think, had either moved out. Angela Nakato is stand up for recognition. She is the pioneer staff at this university who picked interest in people with disabilities and special needs. She was the first coordinator at the time when we were developing the policy, and she's still very supportive. She has also undertaken some specialized trainings in those areas. So as a university, we are not short of resources, and therefore we still believe that we can do better to support ourselves, our communities, and contribute to the national agenda of making sure that everybody gets emancipated. Thank you for listening to me, and at this point, I would also take the opportunity to invite the academic registrar to also make some remarks. Dr. Martha, you're welcome.
Thank you. If you're clapping, clap. Clap properly. Thank you very much, the Dean of Students. I wonder why there's an echo. Why is it's kind of distracting. Good afternoon. We were taught how to do it. Let me try. Sheila, where is Sheila? Good afternoon. Yes, the DVC and I were being coached by Sheila on how to greet, and it's quite interesting. So I will let you know that from 95 to 2015, that's 20 years, I taught in Sunday school, children's church, in the church where I worship. That's the Anglican Church. And when you're teaching children, these are from 0 to about 12 years. We use a lot of signage, sign language, for the songs. And I tell you, none of my colleagues that teach us had ever had the opportunity to get this training. So I don't know what we're teaching the children. But there we were, 20 years in front of children. All the time we were going to sing, we had to think of signs. I remember a song that we sang. You tell me whether any of these signs make sense. It goes like this. Forgive me, my Muslim and other people from other faith. So the song goes like this. I am his and he is mine. His banner over me is love. I am his and he is mine. His banner over me is love. Like that. Does that make any sense? Yes. That's it. Then there's another one. I think, Jesus' love is bubbling over. Jesus' love is bubbling over. Does it make sense? Okay, so we tried. So that's what we're doing. Anyhow, protocol, our team leader, the DVC Academic Affairs, Professor Nixon Kamkama, members of top management here, the Dean of Students, the Senior Communications Officer, members of Council, Stella, our colleague, who represents this section on Council. Then we have our guild, His Excellency Rwab Turumba. I got that name. And the Vice President, Clarice. And I forgot my colleague, Maureen. Those are the members of staff that I can recognize from here. If there are others, my DVC will do that protocol. But I would like to recognize your presence here. And I'm very glad that I was also invited to take part in this. Very interesting, not something that I have really engaged in. So this afternoon, just sitting there, I have learned a lot. I sit in an office where this training was happening, but I did not know what it was. Only that I would hear some noise, then I asked my colleague I work with, and then she told me there is training in sign language. But I want to recognize the facilitators. Do we have any facilitators here? Oh, Brian. And who else? Ah, okay. That is very good. I do recognize. Did you also have a lady? I used to hear a lady talking. She's not here? Okay. But that class must have been a very interesting class because I would hear people laughing all through. So every time they came, I heard when they were starting, and then there would always be a lot of laughter, which is very amazing. And so I recognize the facilitators. So it's an absolute honor and privilege to join you this afternoon as we celebrate a milestone in inclusive education and communication. This graduation of the second cohort of trainees in basic Uganda Sign Language is very important. And let me begin by congratulating the 53 graduates who have taken time and effort to learn this beautiful language of signs. Your commitment is a statement of your willingness to break barriers, foster inclusion, and amplify the voices of those who are often unheard. As academic registrar, I see firsthand how critical communication is in student success and academic service delivery and holistic support. But today I am reminded that communication goes beyond speaking and writing, and it also must be accessible. It must embrace sign language and Braille and other tools that connect us with colleagues, students, community members who experience the world differently. Brian, your stories here were quite touching, particularly how you went to church and began to interpret using the sign language, and there was one person, and after that the impact was already felt from just that. And I can imagine how many people have been excluded because all through the time I've been going to church, we haven't had this kind of communication. But also, as a woman, I'm particularly touched by my fellow women who went to see doctors, get help, but could not access it because of this barrier. So such stories just open our eyes to the world that is different from what we are used to. And as the Dean of Students has said, we are all potential, because that senior citizen had no issues, but now probably age or something has made him realize that he might need sign language. And any of us. This afternoon I was listening to a podcast, and I had put these earphones. And so when I just put on it, the noise was a lot. And I just thought of my eardrums, and I thought, couldn't this affect me? So I quickly pulled it out. So we are all potential people that need sign language. So this graduation is not just the end of a course, but it's the beginning of a new advocacy journey, a pledge to create learning and service environments where no one is left behind. And I would like to congratulate people like Sheila, our student and now staff, who has grasped this opportunity and is now using it. And Sheila, I was talking to Stella, that this opportunity may take you places because you are here with this knowledge and not many know how to use it. So this could create spaces for you to go and communicate to other fields, and I hope it does. So this is the beginning of a new advocacy journey, a pledge to create learning and service environments where no one is left behind. The knowledge you have acquired empowers you not just to interpret signs, but to interpret needs, to create safe spaces, and to champion equity. I can imagine that lady who went to the doctor and just kept doing like this, and she was given a wrong prescription. That is very unfortunate. I commend the team behind this training, especially the Dean of Students Office, the facilitators that we have recognized, the technical team, and our partners in the disability rights spaces. You are nurturing a culture of empathy, professionalism, and innovation. And to our university leaders, now represented by the DVC-AA, we thank you for endorsing such programs and for mainstreaming them through the approval of various policies. This is very essential in the 21st century. To our guests, I don't know whether we have representatives from UNAD and any local leaders. Oh, we recognize your presence. Okay, I hope we shall have time to get them recognized if they have not yet been recognized. And the Guild representatives, we thank you very much for showing up and for lending your voice for inclusion. This is not a solo effort, this is collective. And I'm really, really excited that I am part of
for the arrangement and managing the entire processes. Dr. Mashtha Choshava, Academic Registrar. Yeah, your presence cannot be downplayed. Yeah, we have to serve and your team. Thank you so much. Representative from UNAD. Yes, thank you for sacrificing the time. We have a good president. And your cabinet, your team. Aliho, thank you so much. Yeah, you know you are supposed to be at home, but at least you have put in some efforts to come here. We have Angela, Senior Communication Officer. I don't know where she has gone. She has gone to communicate, probably, to deliver us a message. And I want to congratulate the second cohort for having managed to go through. I hope you passed. And I don't want to forget Brian. Thank you and your team for taking all these members through the processes of learning sign language. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I knew it yesterday, but I had to organize and come. Sign language. What about those who don't see? There is also a gap. You know, when I was young, we used to go for these dances at night after escaping at night. And we had a guy, our friend was deaf. But he also used to go for a dance. Yes, he was good at dancing, but he usually to watch. You stop, he also stops. You increase the speed. You see, that is the whole issue. Now that we are in a changing world, and you are getting these skills, would you be going to those discotheques to interpret? Yeah, there is a gap there. Brian, yes, you are now in church, hospitals. What about such places? So, but I'm glad you have come to bridge the gap, because as Dean has indicated, we are all potential candidates. We have to prepare. And we are the ones to help the society. You are addressing a societal challenge, and that's why we exist. And I want to appreciate the Dean of Students for really and Sabi for organizing this, because people are suffering out there. You can imagine going to church just the first time, second time, 27 have started attending. That means there are people out there who actually need the help. But how are we going to address it? That's why even I started asking, what about those people who don't see? The blind. The other day I was watching, I think it was these international games. I could not believe that even the person who is blind could run 10,000 meters, because he's guided by a colleague. They are running together. But of course, you must take the pace of the other person who is blind. So, meaning that there is a lot to do. How are we going to do it? We are focusing on those who don't hear, the deaf, but what about those who are blind, who don't see? They want to run. They have to do many, many activities. Assuming this is a doctor who is blind and is delivering a pregnant lady, what happens? You also need his help. So, Brian and your team, continue thinking, because there is a lot. Yes, the emphasis has been on skills acquisition. What can you offer? As a must, being a research and innovative institution, You must come up with innovative ways of addressing community problems. And this is one of the ways, but there are many. So it's about continuous thinking, integrated thinking. You as the youth acquire these skills, go out there and apply them. Can we continue looking at new things so that you come up with a solution to the new problems, because the world is changing? Yeah, you have a skill. What next? Sit strategically in order to be seen. Go out there and serve the communities. So I congratulate you. And as Mbarara University of Science and Technology, what has already been pointed out by academic registrar and dean, this is a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. We've been looking at specific academic programs, but now this is the way to go. And as academic registrar has indicated, of course we have to look at it. How can we structure it so that we also offer it as a university? Because there is a need. So we shall continue working with the team. The good thing, there is to survey, there is dean of students, academic registrar. We must work together. But don't sit on this talent. It's a skill. But again, I want to caution you, don't lie. Because the person can sit there, he's interpreting. You can be in the meeting, and probably you are against the decision that he wanted the management to take or council, and then you mislead the person you are representing, can vote otherwise. So I hope you have those professional ethics. So I want to stop here, but as a university, we are grateful, we are happy. This is a new development. At council level, you have the representation. To serve is one of them. There are two. This will be communicated officially, and I hope the governance of this university will be excited. So thank you so much, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, our guest of honor, Professor Nixon Kamkama. I want to introduce some people who have just joined us. Mister, I want to introduce you, but I don't know you, so maybe you can introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Trigingana Jesus, Chairperson LC1 Medical Cell.
Thank you so much. So we have the chairperson, LC1. I also don't know this one.
Thank you so much. Sandra Sim. I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm so much interested in sign language. And I'm joining the next cohort. That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much. Then we have you.
you so much. Good afternoon to you all. I'm Mushawe Dennis, and I'm the president Persons with Disabilities at MAST, and I'm glad to be part of you.
He's the president of PWD's at MAST.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm Sumaya Nalukwago, a volunteer in the Public Relations Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Muganjizi, and I'm on the committee of PWD. Stella is our patron, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Annette Mutamba. I'm a civil engineer from Rwanda. I'm a visitor of this graduation ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are done. So right now, as the VC has said, members don't go to the communities and you start lying. Yeah, it is very true. It happened once in Busheng. Madam Betty, I'm going to introduce her. Yeah, it happened once in Busheng where there was a case in court. The lady, the parents had taken a certain man to the courts of laws that he had raped their daughter. And the girl was there, all signing. The man had spent a week in prison. And the interpreter would tell the court that yes, that the girl is saying the man got him at night and raped her and all that. But the girl was instead saying, I was never raped for the whole week. So now the judge was like, let's now bring in maybe a professional sign language interpreter, and we hear exactly what the girl says. When we were there, we went, the two of us. The girl was saying the parents want to get money from the man because for her she was never raped. So when we told the court, and then now the judge was like, so what were you saying? What were you interpreting exactly? So DVC, you are very right. I want to introduce Betty Chogabirwe. Betty, you can stand up. Yeah, Betty is a master's student at BSU. She's doing her master's in social work and social administration. She's also a minister for people with disabilities at BSU. And we have also been working together in teaching these students sign language. And I'm sure everyone here knows her. At this moment, I want to welcome our disability awareness and advocacy person, Madam Goreti. You are welcome. You come and speak to us. You will introduce yourself. Maybe what I can say is that Goreti is a person living with visual impairment. As you can see her, what the DVC was also talking about, she moves with a PA, whom we call a personal assistant. So you will see miracles here. She's operating a computer, and she's blind. Who was seated here? Where is Nabon? You come and help her. Yeah. Yeah. You connect the projector. So she will speak, she will be speaking to us. Okay. So Goti, you are welcome.
Thank you. The DVC, the academic registrar, the dean of students, and all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. By names of Great Tuliahirwa, I hold a master's degree in Master of Arts, Social Sector Planning and Management from Makerere University. I also have a bachelor's degree in Guidance and Counseling from Chambogo University. I have a certificate in Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights from Nsamizi Training Institute. I am currently working with National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda under the Human Rights Department. I'm implementing a project in Ntungamo, a project that advocates for the rights of persons with disabilities. Like Brian told you, I live with a visual impairment, but that is not an issue. I don't expect to hear someone say, Bambi, sorry. No, I don't, because to me, visual impairment, a visual impairment is not an issue to me because I'm a human being, then the visual disability or impairment comes second. So it's not a very big deal. Today, I also want to add my voice to congratulate the second cohort for making it up to the last day. It's not always easy because you have other things to do, you have other schedules, but making sure that every day you have to go to class, it's not easy. So congratulations, and thank you for appreciating the course and take it up. I also want to thank the Dean of Students and all other members who supported this idea from the day it started up to today when we are having the second cohort graduate. Thank you, Mbarara University of Science and Technology. I don't know what you're going to do. My computer is incompatible with the projector. And unfortunately, it is the only computer I use, because it is accessible. So, I don't know. I'm going to present, okay. The bad chance is that you will not be reading what I will be presenting, but I hope I will try to do the best so that we all in the room, we all understand, okay? Yes, I'm going to do the best to make sure that everyone understands.
Windows M, desktop, folder view, list view, not selected, this PC, 1 of 68. To move the items, use the arrow keys to edit the select, enter. Network, 2 of 68. This PC, 1 of 6, enter. This PC, items, view, list box. To move to an item, press the arrow. Documents, 2 of, download, music, pictures, videos, 6 of. Devices and drives, local disk left parent C colon right, local disk left parent D colon right, enter. Shell folder view, items view list box. To move to an item, press the arrow keys. Avatar, 2 of comedy, Vicente, films, new folder, 6 of 26. Enter, new folder, items view list box. To move to an item, press 1/31/2025, 11:46 a.m. File G. Ready presentation.pptx 506. Enter. Opening dash PowerPoint.
I have a PowerPoint presentation on disability and disability inclusion. We are all here hearing about disability, the word disability. I'm not sure. Is there anyone who has not heard about disability in this room? I think no. We have all heard about disability. So at least we have a hint. I will expect questions and supplements after my presentation, because I know we have all heard about disabilities, though we may not have much details about it. I'm going to begin with defining what disability is. Because in most cases, we have had disability, we are talking about disability, but maybe we may not be very well conversant with the definition. Disability is a substantial limitation to daily activities, which may be caused by physical, mental, or sensory impairment. A disability is a condition that limits anyone in performing the daily activities. You are blind, you can't see, meaning you will not perform the daily activities like a person who has sight. You are a person with a hearing impairment, meaning you will not perform your daily activities like a person who hears properly. That is disability. Maybe you don't have an arm or you don't have legs. You will perform, but you cannot perform on an equal basis with others. Then we have persons with disabilities. Previously, we called them disabled people. That's the term we all know, disabled people. But as the world is changing, we are also changing. Advocates are becoming many, and we are advocating for the language to change. So we are saying we are persons with disabilities. We are no longer disabled people. Because a thing that is disabled, or a person who is disabled, means that thing, or in most cases, it is a thing. Like when you put it in our local language, a disabled person may be, like we call it in our local language, that echi. For us who know Runyankore, we say echi. Echi is that thing that is no longer useful. So when we say a disabled person, it may mean that person is less important in the society. That's why we are saying, we are calling them persons with disabilities, because we are human beings. Before our disability, we are human beings, then the disability comes second. Persons with disabilities is that person who has a long-term condition that limits him or her to perform daily activities. That when her or his impairment interacts with environment, interacts with the barriers in the environment, then he or she cannot perform the activities like any other person. Then we have disability categories. We have all had disability, and we are all persons with disabilities, but we are in categories. We are categorized. We have physical disability. These include people who lost their arms, people who lost their legs, people who lost, there are people who have hunchbacks. They are also regarded as people with physical disabilities, people with spina bifida, people with hydrocephalus, people with cerebral palsy, all that is physical disability. Then we have visual impairment, or what we call blindness. It may be total blindness or low vision, but all is regarded as visual disability. Then we have hearing impairment. Hearing impairment, you may be hard of hearing or you're totally deaf. You don't hear anything. But there are some who hear when you speak loud or when you get closer to them. Those are regarded as the ones with hearing impairment. Then we have people living with albinism. They are also regarded as people with disabilities. You may start thinking or wondering why they are called people with disabilities. But these people are called people with disabilities simply because the discrimination in the society, how society takes them, how society treats them, regards them to be people with disabilities. And also, their sight is poor. If you know people living with albinism, those people, if they are exposed to sunshine, their sight deteriorates. Their sight is poor, and also their skin is not like our skin. All that brings them to be people with disabilities. We have little people. They are little people who are very short, very short. Some call them dwarfs. Others call them pygmies. But they are people with disabilities. They are called little people or people of short stature. It's also a disability. Then we have people with mental disability. We have people with intellectual disability. Intellectual and mental are almost the same. Actually, in the communities, people may find it hard to tell that this one has an intellectual disability or a mental disability. But intellectual disability is that disability where the person who has it, the brain learns slowly, I don't know to what extent, very slow. Those people are very slow in life. You find a person with maybe 18 years and above, but he or she is still behaving like a child. He's still playing with sand. You send them for a cup, they bring a plate. You send them for a basin, they even sometimes forget and start doing their own things. Those are people with intellectual disability. Actually, even in class, they may not grasp like students without disabilities. Those people with intellectual disabilities are most cases in class, or they join school to learn how they can associate with others, but not basically that they will learn and move from one class to another. Then mental is that type of disability. Today the person is well, and the following day the person has got a relapse. He's kind of mad. He's not beating or fighting, but the conversation he has does not connect, or sometimes they keep quiet, they don't want to speak, they want to isolate when they get those attacks or relapse. Medical doctors know better the terms used with that kind of disabilities. Then we have people, multiple disabilities. There are people who have more than one disability. There are people with, you find a person is blind, then the leg, then the arm. He or she has more than one disability. That is multiple disabilities. Then we have also deaf blindness. Deaf blindness is when you are blind and at the same time you're deaf. You're carrying the two. Also that disability exists, only that it's rare to find it because those people, when they get those disabilities, parents or caregivers don't expose them. That's why it may be rare for us to find them in our communities, but they exist. All these categories are recognized in the law or in the act known as Persons with Disabilities Act 2020. This is not Goretti's words, this is not Dipu's words or any other person, but all these are in the act, Persons with Disabilities 2020. Then there are some things or some conditions we in the community confuse to be disability, yet they are not. People with squinted eyes, people with scars, people with elephantiasis, people who lost one finger on the hand, people who have extra fingers, people who are suffering from diabetes, pressure, are sometimes in the community confused to be people with disabilities. They are not people with disabilities. They may be people with special needs, but not with disabilities. People who are impotent, barrenness, mothers who underwent cesarean as they were giving birth, all those are not disabilities. Now I know there are so many arguments in our minds. They may be, maybe if you argue without, it may be a disability because according to the argument, but right now, it is not in the act. So, right now, it is not a disability. It may be a disability later when the act is amended, but right now, it is not a disability. There are people who get accidents and regard themselves as people with disabilities. Though there are times when you get an accident and it causes a disability to you. That is, all those are categories of disability. We have the models of disability or how people perceive disability. We have the medical model, the rights model, charity model, social model, and others. Then we have the disability etiquette, or how we have to communicate to people with disabilities. There are some times or instances when you as a person, you go to an office to seek for a service, instead of them asking you, they ask the person you have come with. What does she want? How can we help her? But you also there standing, instead of them asking you, they are asking the person you have come with. Maybe it is a person with hearing impairment, he or she has come with a sign language interpreter, or a guardian. Instead of asking the person with a disability, with a hearing impairment, they are asking the colleague, how do we help her? What does she want? But that person can speak for him or herself. That person can say what he or she wants for him or herself because she knows what has brought him or her. They told me to summarize. I have a lot of content. Let me summarize and go to reasonable accommodation as my last, and I think it will summarize most of all the things. there is a time I asked people what reasonable accommodation was. They told me it's having a good house with good beddings and good sideboards, and the whole house looks wow. But in the disability movement, that's not the case. In disability movement, reasonable accommodation is modifying the environment to enable persons with disabilities also perform on an equal basis with others. That's where there is a speaker who was asking about the blind, that there is a gap. The blind will use braille, we use audio. The sign language, people with hearing impairment use basically sign language interpreters. There are also some who will use hearing aids if they can work for them. There are some also people with hearing impairment who use captioning. You are on a computer, you are typing what the speaker is saying, he or she is reading what you're typing. It's also a mode of communication. So all that is reasonable accommodation. I heard speakers say, in Mbarara University, we accommodate all of them. You may admit me, all admit a person with hearing impairment. But when you don't provide for reasonable accommodation, then you have not admitted the person. If you admitted him or her with a hearing impairment and you don't provide for a sign language interpreter, then you've not admitted the person. If you admit me and you've not provided me with computer, with a software called JAWS, then you've not admitted me. If you admit a person with a physical disability and you don't put ramps on the buildings, then you've not admitted the person. You may admit me, but be inclusive in your programming, in your budgeting and planning. I heard someone say, seeing how we can bring sign language as a course. Yes, it's a good idea. Why can't we make it a course on its own? Or why can't we say it's a course unit across all the courses at must? Everyone who comes takes it up. Or even we employ someone at the university, some sign language interpreter at the university who will be providing services for the people who come into the university. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Goretti. Yeah, we can clap for her. Yeah, she had a lot of content, but she can share with us the soft copy of it. Then we shall be able to read the whole of what she had prepared for us. I always tell people that some blind people have seen what we have not seen. I'm stopping it at that. At this juncture, I want to welcome Madam Angela to come and take us through the next program. Madam Angela, you are most welcome. Oh. At this juncture, allow me to welcome our principal PRO of the University, Mbarara University of Science and Technology, Madam Angela, who started this actually, and specifically to me, to be in Mbarara University of Science and Technology. I think I was invited by her, so we can give her another hand clap. Thank you for keeping the fire burning, and we hope to work with you more and more. So at this juncture, let her take us through the next programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Vice Chancellor, the Academic Registrar, the Dean of Students and the Deputy, Madam Stella, the graduates of today. by the powers entrusted to me. DVC, I'm taking over your powers. I'm delighted to be here. If we had time, we would all check our phones and see the messages we've all written about graduation. Through you, DVC, I would appreciate the university more and more. Why? For the inclusivity, like our coordinator was saying, accommodative environment, whereby we have ramps, the lifts in all the new buildings. Thank you so much, and we request that you take this message to the administration. It was in the policy, but it's being implemented. We appreciate that, sir. Thank you. I expected you to clap harder. We are going to ask for more things. Yes, like Oliver Twist. I slowed down. Okay. Mr. Vice Chancellor, like they have presented that when we're admitting persons with disability, first of all, we want to go the British style. We no longer say disability, we call it impairment, language. We don't want to offend people with impairments. You don't say the deaf, you don't say the blind, because when you say that, it feels abusive. DVC in our local language, how do they say deaf? That this one is deaf. Okay, you're in the Lunyankole, not in your local language of Sweden. Afiramat? Ichteta is what? I know better Lunyankole. So my point here is, let's have the right language when addressing persons with impairments. And us seeing ourselves here at the graduation of sign language, I've always shared the story of Trevor Chumbe, who is a great writer in Zambia and South Africa. He had a disability of dyslexia. Dyslexia is when you can't write words, and he was abused by his teacher, primary teacher, who said, "You are nothing." But one day in secondary school, a teacher told him, you're not a good reader and writer, but you can make a good journalist. You can be a good lawyer. You can be anything you want. From that day, he picked the strength to campaign as a head boy, and he had a chance to meet VIPs. And when he met the VIPs, he got the confidence to speak to people, like audiences. And he never turned back. He's the writer and author of The Sun in South Africa, a paper that sells in the entire South Africa. If he was never told that he can be anything he can be, he wouldn't be there today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch our language when we're addressing people, because it breaks or makes someone. That is my message. So today, I think it's now the time to read the certificates. I would invite the Vice Chancellor, Academic Registrar, and the Dean here present. The students will receive the certificates, and their names will be read in the sign language. So if they read Nakat and Maureen comes, you just take the certificate. So you have a handshake with the, I don't know whether we can project the no, at graduation you have like 1,000, so these are few. They need a photo moment with you, sir. So let's get the certificates. So who is doing the sign language here for me? You're doing it? Come. No, protocol. Protocol. So, no, you are right. You are the other side. You're on the right side. Come this side. You extend a little bit there. You extend a little bit there. So. You clap for them. Hey, desire. Okay. To save time, we shall have the first ones read and some taken through. he's doing the sign language for the names. Patience, Desire, but the first 10 we're going to read the names to save time. Yes. Yes, walk like a graduate. As she's coming, we have Asimwe. Please clap for them. Yeah. Yes, that is the first person. And she's well dressed for the graduation. Have a photo moment. Sheila. Please, let's look at the person. Ampire Sheila. Ampire Sheila. As Sheila is coming, let's have Rita Asimire. So the next one is being sign read. Mr. Vice Chancellor, those who are not clapping are not going to get their certificates. Yes. Thank you so much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, that I would like to let you know that, yes, we are not only having students, but also people in the community that have joined this. Isaac. And thank you for being smart for this occasion. I see you're all smart. Please clap for yourselves harder. David Opendi. We had to read. That is Isaac, yes. Please, you pose like a campuser. Are we pausing? Guys, it's your photo moment. It's going all over the website and you're just standing like a soldier. Please, enjoy your photo moment. The names are being read. I don't know who gave... Mr. Vice Chancellor, Chantal works with the ophthalmology clinic. You know, okay, because... ladies and gentlemen, I think you realize that all of us up here, our eyes are saying something else. So we can all benefit being... That's why Maureen is not here. Our eyes, we had to be here. DVC, they are saying that you're all wearing specs as the graduating, yes. Who is this? There you go. John Wycliffe. Guys, I'm not hearing the vibe. I need ululating. Malulus. Your Providence. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I would like to let you know that the next person is a receptionist at Las Vegas, and she's promoting sign language for customers. Those were my classmates. I just repeated. I didn't attend the classes. That's why I know all of them. Tryphon? Okay, Rita Kansime. Rita is around? This is Tryphon. Rita Kansime, be on standby. Please look at the sign language interpreter. Akampa. Please be on standby. Kabura, be on standby. Rita? Who's this? Mr. Vice Chancellor, they are clapping for the next person. Mr. Vice Chancellor, that's Kabura, and he's really smart for the event. I asked for an extra photo with him. Please take a photo moment. Even one with the academic registrar, because you're very smart. Come and take a photo with the academic registrar. Make sure you don't steal our positions. We still want to work here. You're very smart. Josephine? Josephine, you're graduating the second time. Is this a master's? Okay, I just see her, I think, somewhere else. Joseph Kakongi. Jovan Joseph. Joshua Muwanguzi. Joshua. This one is not around. Ivan. Ivan. The ones that are not around, let's remove them. Agaba Emily is not around. Ochan Peter is not around. Oh, okay. Ochan Peter, Mr. Vice Chancellor, he's from Mountains of the Moon University, and he came all the way. Baba Dechi. Clap harder, we are stealing him from there. Yes, that's Emily. Chibirige Mark. Chibirige Mark. Guys, you're getting those who are around, eh? Yeah. Lubega Mark. John Marvin. Nakazi Sarah. Namilo Aaron. Nansereko Florence. Nalubega Patience Victoria. Nakaliowa Alice. Alio Jedidiah is not around. Atim. Giwa. This one needs to be read by the Dean of Students.
This is Giwa Kautra Zara Salaudin.
Salaudin. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, Kauthara is better. They're not around. The rest are not around. Mwanguzi Jonathan. Seruma Joseph. Namale Blessed Shadia. Joseph is around. Sephorosa Ahimbisiwe William. Engineer Anki is not around. Akampwera Sheila. Everyone has graduated? Okay. Now we are going to appreciate our tutors. Kasumba Simon Peter. Kasumba Simon Peter. Simon is so active in church. Now he has sign language. The preachers are in trouble. Chogabire Betty. Mr. Vice Chancellor, we are appreciating Betty for her support towards the persons with impairment. She has always been supportive. If she doesn't box me today, I'll survive. Energy is too much. We're appreciating Julius Mutagubia. He's also a good supporter. He's requesting to do a lot at graduation. He wants to offer that and do sign language in the hospital. Yes. Tumukunde Nabon has always provided the support for the students, providing the projector, reserving the room and all that. Thank you so much for always being there for us. I really appreciate Akampwera Sheila. She is a mentor and she has taken the name of MUST via sign language everywhere. Now, why aren't you clapping for these people? Madam Stella, I request you to come We have Sunday Bright. We can talk about Sunday Bright till the cows go home. He has really supported, Brian, sorry. Brian has supported the persons with impairment. He was our first sign language interpreter at graduation during the COVID-19. So we adopted him, and Mr. Vice Chancellor, it's up to you to appreciate him more. We do appreciate Madam Maureen Kahima, much as she graduated. She abandoned, but we're appreciating her for the support. But DVC, you support her, and she'll go back. Thank you for supporting the students with impairment and always lobbying for them. Mr. Vice Chancellor, it goes without mention that even the academic registrar cares about them during admission. DVC, I would let you know that persons with impairment do not line up during registration. And thanks to the academic registrar. And the audience clapped for her. That's why they read your name. I couldn't read your name. Yes. So, have we given everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. I'm just requesting that the academic registrar, the Dean of Students, and DVC, in one word, in one sentence, close the event in that order. Dr. Martha. You've spoken, but to close. We might have said other things.
Thank you very much, our Public Relations Officer, colleagues. I would like to congratulate all of you. Thank you.
On a special note, I wish to recognize those who are not members of Mbarara University community who participated in the training. In a special way, Mountains of the Moon University, I hope you are borrowing a leaf from us. Well done. We appreciate the members of staff who participated. This gives us a lot of encouragement that there's going to be a multiplier effect in the long run. And members of the community who also are adding to our mandate. As a university, we are a community-based university. And when you see members of the community benefiting, it actually emphasizes that we can fulfill our mandate in various ways. I thank all of you, and at this note, our chief guest, Professor Nixon Kamkama, can give the closing remarks. Professor Nixon.
Thank you, Dean of Students, Emmanuel. I appreciate you, I congratulate you for having gone through all this, and organizers of this occasion, function. We are grateful. We thank you on behalf of MUST. Thank you for making MUST shine. You have to go out there and serve the world. I was sharing with Martha, said that I will enroll so that when I'm annoyed, I use sign language because people, because one may not know that really, that you are annoyed. Isn't it, Brian? I think that is okay because softens everything. Because one will not know that you are annoyed. Yes, so, but we are grateful. Angela, thank you so much for whatever is taking place and the organization. We are grateful. I'm going to take back the message to MUST, and especially to the council, where we have representatives. And as I said before, definitely they will be excited. The only thing I can say, go out there and make MUST shine. With all this, I want to declare this function closed. Thank you.
You know, after that, we're not supposed to talk. But we shall have a group photo outside there. And the Deputy Vice Chancellor, every graduation has a meal. So drink, but drink wisely. And don't overdrink. May you enjoy today. And congratulations once again. Please bring more people. Like they said, please, please, keep practicing sign language. Even when you're not going to be paid. Brian was not paid the first time he came to Mbarara, but right now he's being paid. Are you being paid? Yeah. You just say yes to end the conversation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations and succeed we must. Let's go for a group photo, please.
You're watching a